Now let's keep you updated with the latest news wrap-up. And the minority in Parliament, they've condemned the dissolution of the Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Company Board, claiming it's a ploy by President Akufo-Addo and the Energy Minister Boakye Ejako to cover up alleged corrupt acts at the company. The sector ministry on Wednesday announced the dissolution of the board, weeks after it had passed a resolution indicting the Chief Executive Officer, Francis CCM. Ranking member on the Parliament's Mines and Energy Committee, Adams Mutawakilu, is serving notice a future NDC government will have to reinvestigate alleged breaches of Procurement Act by the CEO and bring officials to book.
It's a sad day for Mother Ghana. Very sad. It's just purely a cover-up. It's purely a cover-up by the president to cover up the rot at Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Company.
Why would the president be interested in covering it up? Francis CCM, to protect her?
Yeah, to protect Francis CCM. That's the CEO of the company. Because a board has raised certain legitimate issues. Set up a committee. She refused to respond. She refused to respond to the queries that was put to her by the board. And the board took an action. Then the minister set up a committee to investigate. And they were given 2 weeks to produce the report. As we speak, we don't even know whether the report has been submitted. And all of a sudden, the board is dissolved. This is a tactic to cover up for the CEO, Francis CCM. It is evident.
Why is a suspicion that the CEO has done something wrong, which even the president and the minister would want to
I can confidently say the CEO breached the Public Procurement Act. And as a minority, I had promised we'll be coming up with our own report. We'll finalize it this weekend, and next week we'll bring the report out for the public, the media, and everybody to see what happened and why the board raised those issues and whether it breaches the Public Procurement Act or not.
And your suspicion is that the minister was also involved in this said, breaches?
As at the time the board was not working, the minister responsible for energy was a supervisory ministry. And that is why he had a fiat to set up and then to announce on behalf of the president to dissolve. So all actions by the CEO will definitely go to the minister for approval. So if the CEO is implicated, indirectly it has effect on the minister. And that is why they are playing that cover-up, encouraging corruption. And that is bad for us.
Two-time winners, St. Peter's Senior High School annexed the 25th anniversary edition of the National Science and Maths Quiz on Thursday. Well, they beat their closest contender, West Africa Senior High School, by just 1 point. At the end of it all, the winning school had 45 points, followed by underdogs going into the final, West Africa Senior High School with 44 and Adisado College with 39 points. The contest itself had drama, tension, emotion and excitement all wrapped up in one. Nancy MFI Jiradosi was there to capture it all.
Adisado College were the favorites going into the final contest, and they made sure everyone who cared to know aware that they were in it to win.
These two schools, do you think is a competition for you? None of them. None of them. Because they are the school and we are the college. So we are going to molest them. We are going to bully them. They are not even our potential. So that's the difference between we and them. They are competing among themselves. But we have taken it already. So it's ours. So you can see the boys. But you can see them. They are quiet. But you can see ours. The victory is ours. Yeah. And what?
Though they held on to the lead by the end of the first round, it became apparent it wasn't going to be a walk in the park by the end of the second. West Africa Senior High School, who were pretty new to the contest, having entered only 3 years ago and now featuring in their very first final, on several occasions demonstrated the brilliance that's earned them the sport.
Alkenes show cis-trans isomerism. Sahine.
Fourth.
You're right.
The contest at some points appeared to be leaning towards the Adenta boys of the Cape Coasters, and it wasn't until the very final round that a slight change in the tide handed St. Peter's the victory.
Last one. I am a 3-digit odd number between 100 and 200. The product of all my digits is a 2-digit odd cube. My digits are distinct. The sum of my digits is 13. My last digit is an exact square. Yes, Penny?
149.
That's incorrect. Who rang next? Who rang next? Yeah, go ahead. Yes, Sahine.
Sir, please, madam, please, we have 147.
No. I continue.
The auditorium of the National Theatre erupted with a wild cheer. There was also wild jubilation on the St. Peter's campus, where the students were watching the competition on TV. The mood at the Dissolution College campus was, however, one of despondency, with the students finding it hard to believe what had happened. The West African senior high school contestants were proud they put up a good fight.
Feeling the best, but I'm feeling very happy because I've become a source of motivation for others. People who dejected by society, they also say, wow, this guy was also that way, we were nothing, and see where God has taken us. So I'm a hope to other people, but also I'm not so happy because it wasn't the ultimate victory. So what can you say?
Multiple prizes, including scholarships, were handed out to several of the competing schools, including WAS, which won second place. In the end, though, it was St. Peter's that took away the trophy and earned the bragging right to a contest that keeps getting better with each passing year. For JoyNews, Nancy Jodosi from the National Theatre, Accra.
I remember the winners, St. Peter's, and the rest of their teachers and the supporters, they will be right here in the studio. So we'll have some great conversation around how they got to prepare and got to win and how elated they feel. But let's move on to the Upper East region. And there's currently no functioning ambulance for the CosinNguaa Municipal Hospital in the region. According to the medical superintendent of the hospital, the ambulance, which also served the neighboring district, broke down about a year ago. And since then, health workers only relied on a pickup vehicle to convey patients in emergency situations. Dr. Majid Al-Hassan made the issue known while speaking at a function to open a renovated children's ward for the War Memorial Hospital at Navrongo. Well, Upper East regional correspondent Albert Sori has more.
The War Memorial Hospital at Navrongo is the main hospital for the CosinNguaa Municipality. Like many hospitals in Ghana, it faces numerous challenges. The children's ward of the hospital, which was in poor shape, has now been renovated by Ghana's ambassador to Italy, Paulina Abayage. At a short ceremony to hand over the new children's ward for use, medical superintendent of the War Memorial Hospital, Dr. Majid Al-Hassan, said the hospital was inundated with many problems, including the absence of a functioning ambulance.
The challenges we're facing as a hospital are multifaceted. We have challenges for certain numbers of certain critical staff like doctors, anesthetists. The mainstream workers that we have, a good number of them, after working for a while, are always requesting for regional transfers, and that keeps depleting the number of staff that we have. Aside that, we have infrastructural challenges. Ambulance is also another challenge. The national ambulance in the districts is not always available.
The renovated children's ward comes with improved beds, new furniture, 2 plasma TV sets, among others. Ghana's ambassador to Italy, Paulina Abayagi, said she initiated the renovation of the ward with support from friends and well-wishers.
It's only appropriate that once in a while I come back home to give back to my community, because this is a poor region, and because of the poverty levels, sometimes it's difficult for things development to go on.
CosinNguaa Municipal Chief Executive Williams Adum, while thanking the ambassador for the gesture, emphasized the problem of the lack of an ambulance for the hospital and appealed for help.
As we speak today, there's no single ambulance for the hospital. So anytime somebody is sick and we need to transport the person to Tamale, it becomes so difficult. We have to use a pickup, no oxygen method. So sometimes myself, doctor will be calling, can we get ambulance from other districts to come? By the time they come, probably the condition would have worsened out. So we are still asking for more collaboration, more partnership.
Madam Paulina Abayagi also donated assorted items to some quadruplets born to a poor family whom she has been supporting since they were born 13 years ago. Albert Sorry, JoyNews, Navrongo.
And before we go, inadequate school infrastructure, the Gambezi School in the One West District is affecting teaching and learning. The pupils there have outnumbered the furniture of the school. Authorities also complain they lack the needed space to accommodate the rising number of pupils. And there's more in this report by Rafiq Salam.
What is month? If they say month, what do you understand the word month? Yes.
GA Primary School, one of the oldest primary schools in the Upper West region, was established 61 years ago. At its establishment, it was serving at least 15 communities. The number of communities has now been trimmed down to 3 after schools were opened in most of the communities in the environment. The number of pupils, however, continues to rise as it has a current population of 450 pupils. Head teacher of GA Primary School, Dara Hawa, who spoke of the challenges they go through teaching in crowded classrooms and appealed to government and other benevolent organizations to come to their aid.
When you enter the class and see the numbers on one table, and even the space for teachers to move around to inspect each individual child's performance is difficult, very difficult. There are no furniture enough. Even if there are furniture enough, they will not enter the classrooms because the numbers are large. You can have 63 children in a class managed by one teacher. We don't have a library to keep those books. If we had, we could always even teach children how to use it.
Previously, teaching at the school was done under untidy and unhygienic conditions as they had no toilet to respond to nature's call. Thanks to the United Nations Children Fund, UNICEF, which provided them with water, sanitation and hygiene, wash facilities, this challenge no longer exists.
They have trained us to construct tippy taps where we effectively wash our hands under running water. You can see these Veronica buckets. They were provided us by UNICEF. So our children drink from them, wash their hands under running water, and we do the supply of soap for them to always wash their hands. So before a child goes to the kitchen in GA Primary, the first thing she does or he does is go to the tippy tap or the Veronica bucket and wash their hands.
UNICEF country representative Anne-Claire Dufy urged residents of GA to take the education of their ward seriously.
And I want to again congratulate the whole community, the district, the parents for all the efforts you've been making in fulfilling the rights of children. Clearly today we saw, that students have the confidence to, perform a role play about a very sensitive topic, girls' menstruation. But it's indeed their right to be in school, even when they menstruate. And the fact that you were able to talk about it without any taboo is fantastic.
Warwick's District Chief Executive recounted the numerous support given to the district by UNICEF, though they still grapple with challenges in education, water, and health.
We are indeed grateful that your visit to the district will raise awareness among people on the need and open education in the district. This will add to the numerous education we have been carrying across the district.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam, Ga.
Well, so that's it for the latest news headlines we have. Remember, we're going to have St. Peter's. They are the winners of the National Science and Maths Quiz for 2018. And we know that event was covered live here on JoyNews. We brought you a lot of previews and thereafter spoke to a number of the participants as well as the participating schools and those students who thronged the National Theatre during the period. But that would have been after we'd done a great conversation with former Finance Minister Seth Terkper, who is going to be here with us speaking to Mama Viusu Abuaje on the demise of the former Vice President of our Republic. A week ago, we heard that sad news of the passing on of the former Vice President as he went to train at his regular gym at the Air Force Base here in Accra. And following that, we've had messages of condolences coming from the president, a former president, members of his party, and then a number of officials of the current ruling MPP, the opposition, and people from all walks of life. And for somebody who has worked with him for number of years, Seth Terkper, the former finance minister, is the right person to talk about him. So that's why we're having that conversation. But don't forget, you can also get interactive throughout the rest of the show on Facebook, JoyNews on TV. You can also watch us there live. And where you can also watch us is through our regular channel on YouTube, My Joy Online TV. And that's where we take a break. When we come back, please look forward to that great conversation Mama Viusu Abuaje is going to have with the former finance minister. And Seth Terkper is speaking on the passing on of the former vice president of our republic, Papa Kwesi Arthur, and his experiences while working with him. Do stay on. We'll be right back.